More than 1 million people turned out for a pro-democracy rally in Istanbul, Turkey Sunday, including both supporters and opponents of President Recep Erdogan. The recent coup attempt in Turkey shook one of the most important nations in the Middle East to its foundation. But the aftershocks could likely have greater impact, not only within Turkey, but throughout the region and beyond. Chris Mitchell shows us why from Jerusalem.
Since Turkish President Erdogan and his supporters defeated July's attempted coup, he's dismissed or arrested thousands of soldiers, judges, and teachers. The government also shut down more than 130 media outlets. Erdogan blamed a man named Fethullah Gulen for the coup. The two were former allies, but after falling out, have become bitter enemies. Gulen fled Turkey in 1999 and gained asylum in the U.S. He now controls a large movement from his Pennsylvania home, including many supporters inside Turkey. He denies any involvement in the coup, but Erdogan's purge seems designed to target many of them.
Gulen had millions of supporters. If you accuse any one of them now and see any one of them as responsible for this failed and stupid coup, what do you do with these millions of people? Well, will they not be able to work? So how wide is the circle that you are punishing for this coup is a big question.
Former Israeli diplomat Alon Liel says Erdogan took power in 2002 and began a quiet Islamic revolution. He slowly reversed secular reforms put in place by former President Kemal Ataturk in the 1920s.
All the bureaucracy was secular, and he was a religious leader. He wanted to change Turkey.
There is no due process now in Turkey. We have a dictator. We have a sultan. His name is Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
Harold Rode, the former head of the Turkish desk in the Pentagon, says Erdogan has ambitious goals.
And his goal is to basically bring back Islam as the ruling identity of the entire Islamic world. His way, his Sunni particular way, it's my way or the highway, and then to take the entire Muslim world and to advance Islam to take over the entire world. Erdogan, it seems to me, would like to be that caliph of the entire Muslim world and eventually the entire world.
Erdogan once said, democracy is like a streetcar. You ride it until you get to your destination. As a NATO member, Turkey's coup response and Erdogan's consolidation of power are setting off alarms in the West.
Erdogan has used that coup as an opportunity to destroy any remnants of democracy in Turkey. People are petrified. He has arrested over 50,000 people. He has given an order that any Turkish academic abroad must return home. If I were a Turkish academic in the United States or in Europe, I'd right away be asking for asylum.
Liel says the coup provided Erdogan the ammunition to accelerate his revolution. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
An alarming report. Pat?
I knew it because it's in prophecy, but you know, Ataturk, they would say, I'm a child of Ataturk. Well, he came in the 20s and he said, look, we're not a Muslim country anymore. We're constitutional democracy. And he put in a secular government in Turkey, and Turkey was a member of course, later on of NATO and the other European nations. It had been called the, quote, sick man of Europe because after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, which was huge, there wasn't much left in Turkey. Well, okay, fast forward. I think that whole coup was a setup. I don't think it really was real. I think that Erdogan engineered the entire thing. And when I heard it happening, I realized the prophecy that is found in the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 38, which shows a nation, a league of nations coming against Israel. And at the forefront was something called Gomer, and Gomer is Turkey. And some of the other part, you see Gog and Magog and all that, that's all Turkey. I mean, the Middle East, that's Turkey. And Turkey is an increasingly important member of the coalition that will come against Israel in the last days. It will be Russia, at least the Caucasian countries. It will be Turkey. It will be the Sudan. It will be, especially, it will be Iran, Persia. And they're going to come against Israel in the latter days. It's in the Bible. It's very clear. And this one is really writ large. So the idea that that coup was going to bring about democracy on westernization to Turkey wasn't going to happen. And I think the whole thing was a put-up. I think it was all a fraud to him to get power. And the fact that he's arrested over 50,000 people is absolutely shocking.
Now, what do you think is going to happen to the Christians there? The government's already taken over a number of churches.
It's going to be terrible persecution. I don't think we realize how bad it's going to get. He's turned the power. I mean, first, he had to get rid of the military. The military was standing against his ambitions. So he had to neuter the military, and he said this is a coup of the military. No such thing. It's all a fraud. And we're playing it like it's something serious. There was no coup, but it was a put-up job, and he used it as an excuse. He's neutered the military. The military had the power to come back in and sort of regulate things and be a watchdog over the democracy. They've now lost their power. There's a dictator, and as the guest on that show, he wants to be a sultan. He's talking about the revival of the Ottoman Empire.
I had a chance to go there 2 years ago on a mission trip, and it's such a beautiful country.
Lovely.
And I'm glad I went 2 years ago. I wouldn't want to be there now.
Well, there's a great move of God in Turkey. I mean, after all, you read Paul's letter to the churches in Asia, you know, Ephesus and Thyatira and Laodicea and all those churches, they're all in Turkey. That's the book of Revelation. It's all Turkey. And, well, we'll see what's going to happen. But it'll blow up very fast, and he's going to become enemy number one. Mark my words.